Just doing this video, right? Because I'm sitting here thinking, and I've been pulling back on the Tank Davis conversation, not because I can't deal with people crying about it, but I try to give it some time to see if there'll be some more developments. And there's been no real developments other than he hasn't turned himself in yet, which I really hope he does because I don't want him to hurt himself or hurt somebody else or get irrational thoughts or anything like that, especially with the passing of his grandma and shit like that. I would like to see him handle this the right way. Um, but like I've said in previous videos, where you got the crowd of people who keep saying, "Let's wait for all the facts to come out." I don't think we need to wait for all of the facts to come out when we have facts, and the facts that we do have are that Gervonta Davis was seen on video assaulting a woman. I don't care how certain people try to sugarcoat it and say that, oh, Gervonta was on video and he grabbed a woman by her shirt collar and he walked her out of a building. No, he didn't grab her by her shirt collar and walk her out of the building. He gripped her up by her shirt collar and dragged her out of the building. Like, call it what it is, you know what I mean? And I think that's the big problem with Gervonta Davis now, is that he's in that position where he's kind of like reached like cult status to people, where no matter what he does, they'll always find an excuse for it. And I think that this being an accusation that is similar to an accusation that we saw on camera. First, the initial thing was, oh, the girl's just trying to get money, and she didn't file criminal charges. Well, she did file criminal charges. She filed them, I'd assume, around the time that it happened, and she filed the charges or whatever. And then the entitled crowd of YouTube and boxing fans think that because she filed a lawsuit, that they're entitled to know about the lawsuit, or they're entitled to see the video because they say one exists, but they don't believe it because they didn't see it. Well, the Miami Gardens Police Department, they did a press conference last week or the week before, whenever all this shit happened, and they said that her account of the incident matches the video. And now people are scrambling, instead of still trying to instead of calling Tank out for what he is and what he did and shit like that. It's just been more like kid gloves. Oh, Gervonta, we know you're going through a lot. You got to stay out them strip clubs. And that brings me to my point, right? This is a conversation that has not been had, and I think it's a conversation that needs to be had. So this incident, to my knowledge, I talked to my boy earlier, and I think that he told me it happened in October, and that's around the time I remember. So this incident happened sometime in October. But when you read the police report, the young lady said that they had a 5-month relationship, and this incident happened a month a month after she cut ties with him, right? And then in her complaint, she said that one of the things he said to her was like, "You ain't think I was gonna find you." So what that gives me right there, and I want y'all to really think about this, that's stalking. That's clear stalking. That is clear cut stalking. This young lady wanted to sever ties with him for whatever reasons. I'm not going to create any. I don't know what went on behind closed doors with them, but for whatever reason, she felt like she had had enough of him, and she just didn't want to date anymore. It happens all the time. It's happened to me. Any man who listens to this video, it's happened to you. There's a time where a woman in our life that we like and we weren't ready to be finished with for whatever reasons told us that they didn't want to do it anymore. And you might call her a few times, text her a few times. Shit, some people might pop up at the house with flowers. No malicious intent. But when a woman is done, a woman's done. There's nothing you can do. And in this case, the young lady said that she was finished. And the young lady said that she was finished. Daz, what up, bro? The young lady said she didn't want to date him anymore. And a month later, he popped up at her job and pulled her out of the club. So the Tank Davis apologists, they want you to believe that he needs to stay at strip clubs and that strip clubs are the problem. The problem is he wasn't at the strip club when this incident happened. It happened in the strip club, but it wasn't a strip club related incident. More than likely, Gervonta Davis was home or whatever the case, and he popped up at that club looking for this girl because he knows she worked there. And he snatched her out of there. So don't say that, the strip club is the problem, because we all go to strip clubs. And I never went to a strip club and felt like fighting when I got there. I never felt like gripping up one of the girls and dragging her out the door. The bottom line is that she didn't want to date him anymore, and he decided that he wasn't finished yet, and they would be finished when he said so. And he drags her through the building and into the parking lot, and presumably, I imagine he was going to throw her in his car, which really, really is a problem. And even if he didn't complete said mission, it's still a problem that was even his intent, right? The girl didn't want to go with you, and not only that, she didn't want to date you anymore. She broke it off, and you popped up at her job a month later and said to her, "You thought I wasn't going to find you?" And this is my problem with a lot of the Gervonta Davis fanboy content creators is that they will not tell you these things. They will intentionally neglect these things when they tell you the breakdown of the story. You won't hear Fanon say these things, the things I'm telling you. You won't hear Boxing Ego say it. You won't hear who else am I missing? There's a few more I'm missing. And I'm not even gonna be disrespectful about it. But these are things that they leave out. And this is why I am blocked on Fanon StreamYard. This is why KO has me blocked on his StreamYard. KO will sit there and tell you how he's the most ducked and avoided YouTube, the person on YouTube nobody wants smoke. KO, I've been begging you for smoke. I want you. I want to go live with you. And I will body you. I will put you in a coffin, and you know that. And that's why you got me blocked. So you could tell people it's because I'm disrespectful. Shit, Blue Blood disrespect you. BFTV disrespect you. But you still claim that they won't debate you. But I will. I'll do it on their behalf because I will fry you, bro. And this is what I'm talking about with y'all when you want to know what makes you a fanboy. This behavior right here is what makes you a fanboy when you try to highlight all the good things or you try to minimize the bad. The dude is not a good person. Tank Davis is not a good person. And just because you like a person doesn't make them a good person. It just means you like them. Like I heard Fanon say today, I think Gervonta is a good guy. Tell me why you think a man that you watched on camera grab a girl by her shirt collar and drag her out of a building is a good guy. Tell me why you think a kid who crashed his Lamborghini into a pregnant woman's car and left her in the car screaming for help, begging him for help, and he jumped out and ran because he was more worried about getting in trouble than he was about rendering aid. You know what I mean? But you just try to dress it up as, oh, it was a car accident. It wasn't a car accident. It was a hit and run. He committed a crime, but every crime he commits, you try to act as if it's just so small and it's not that big of a deal. He has bad, I'm not going to say he's a bad person, but I'm not going to say he's a good person. But what I do know is that he has bad judgment. His very bad judgment. And I don't know if that speaks to the caliber of person he is, or if it just speaks to, if it speaks to the caliber of person he is, or it just speaks to the decisions he makes in bad and tough moments. Like he's a bad decision maker. Like maybe he's scared of getting in trouble. Maybe he grew up as a kid getting in trouble and he has like some kind of internal fear of getting in trouble. You know what I mean? And this happens. It's just a thing. So my question is, where is he and when is he going to turn himself in? Because like I said, the longer this goes on, the more dangerous it gets. And, some people seem to, find humor in them calling him a fugitive. But the bottom line is when you are on the run, you are a fugitive from justice. And the longer he takes to turn himself in, the more dangerous this gets, the more potential for something bad to happen. And, I don't care for Tank. I'll never sit here and lie to you and tell you that I'm a Tank fan. I don't care for the kid at all. But I don't want anything to happen to him. I want him to man up, put his big boy pants on, put his boots on, and face justice. It's coming for you. You can't run from it, and you can't run forever. I guess you could run forever, but eventually, the money runs out and things like that. And you can't go on the run broke. And I'm not saying Tank is broke. I'm certain that Tank is far from broke. But the people around him are not advising him right, or he just doesn't listen to them. Leonard Ellerby always has something to say, and we haven't heard a thing from Leonard regarding this. You know what I mean? And that's concerning to me. But I'm gonna end this joint here. I'll get with y'all later. Does I appreciate you tapping in, man. Hopefully these numbers grow a little bit. I'm not really passionate about this. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like super passionate about it. I have no desire to put out one video a day, let alone, 3, 4, 5, like some content creators do. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm not trying to play these dudes or nothing like that. Just me personally, I don't really feel like sitting in front of a camera making videos. And there's nothing wrong with it. Get your money. You know what I'm saying? I just don't have the time, nor do I have the interest in doing it. But the people who do it, I definitely tap in. I'm definitely checking for y'all, and I appreciate the stuff that y'all put out. If I bang with you, the rest of y'all dudes is stupid, bro. But I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll probably catch y'all on Twitter, or shout out to Frequent Flyer Frequency. I'd probably be on his joint later. Pause. If he go live, him, me, Ray Davis, and the gang. All right, fellas, I get what y'all does. I appreciate you, Brody.